My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. This is a very important segment. All of these segments now are extremely important because the Mueller probe every day is turning out to be essentially opposition research on Trump for 2020. And one of my amazing subscribers brought that up, and I thought about it, and it's true. This isn't about national security. No one cares about Russian Facebook ads seen after the election. That's not national security. It's not going to protect us from, everything from terror to, enemy nations. It's not going to protect us. They are confusing Hillary losing, even if that's true. They're confusing Democrats losing the election with national security. Democrats outspent Trump, with Clinton outspent Trump 2-1. She used part of the money to pay her law firm, Perkins Coie, to then purchase the Steele dossier that was in part compiled by Cody Shearer and Sidney Blumenthal, not just Christopher Steele. We can go on forever about that. We had the Sam Nunberg incident yesterday. 13 internet trolls indicted, which the Facebook vice president of advertising right after said, most of the ads were seen and purchased after the election. So tell me again how we were quote-unquote attacked. Hamilton 68 is like this Orwellian think tank operation that's supposed to protect the country from Russian propaganda. But how is it that the Obama administration presided? If you use the word presided, Snopes can't have a field day going nuts. The people at factcheck.org and Snopes can't touch themselves in ecstasy if you just use the word presided. Yeah, Obama and Clinton didn't own the uranium. Big effing deal. But they presided over the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity as money flowed into the Clinton Foundation. This is a fact. How do we know? Because it's a New York Times article. Cash flowed to the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. I'll get to Michael Cohen in a second. This segment is important because it talks about now special counsel has examined episodes. Was he an extra on Friends? What episodes? Episodes involving Michael Cohen. Robert Mueller focusing on Trump's personal lawyer. I'll get to that in a second. Trump's personal lawyer received inside info from Russia. They were so horrible, and they put all their eggs in the Clinton basket. And when the basket fell into the pits of hell, they then said, well, it was Russia's fault. Even though not one person in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio was influenced by a Russian Facebook ad or by a Twitter bot. And for every one person possibly influenced, you had correct the record. And insane, maniacal, brainwashed people who weren't part of the correct the record trolls, who had just attacked progressives and conservatives alike. But I'll read you, and he's suing BuzzFeed, which will also be very important to this segment. Special counsel has examined episodes involving Michael Cohen, Trump's longtime lawyer. Oh my God, really? Because he never stepped foot in Prague. And that's what the Steele dossier accuses him of doing. That's why he's going to win the defamation lawsuit against BuzzFeed and Fusion GPS, along with the 3 Russian bankers and Russian entrepreneur. But I'll read you. Special counsel Robert Mueller III has requested documents and interviewed witnesses about incidents involving Michael Cohen, the longtime lawyer for President Trump, whose wide-ranging portfolio has given him a unique vantage point into Trump's businesses, campaign, and political activities. Now you shut. This is a profanity alert. And if there's anyone who in any way can communicate something to the president or his advisors, you shut down profanity alert for my 4-minute and 30-second crowd. You shut down the fucking probe tomorrow. You fire Rosenstein, do what you have to do, shut down Mueller. There'll be 2 weeks of outrage. Count them. 2 fucking weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. For catastrophes, for travesties, for real issues, maximum 2 weeks of outrage. Maximum. That's pushing it. the CNN media cycle is about 2 to 3 days for a topic. And that's even pushing it also. So if they're going into Trump's businesses now, and the Clinton email investigation didn't even, people didn't even abide by the subpoenas in the Clinton email investigation. Much less, they didn't go into her speaking fees and all that. They didn't go into the shady business practices of the Clinton Foundation or charitable, quote-unquote, charitable practices. Mueller is now, can't find anything regarding Russian hacking, can't find anything regarding Russian collusion, so they're going after his businesses, which is what Sam Nunberg talked about. For that split second, he was very interesting and represented something that everyone should, tiny, there was a tiny part of what he was doing that was extremely noble and admirable. Telling Mueller to F himself and asking him to provide evidence. Now he's going to go ahead and work with Mueller, apparently. But once they're attacking Trump's businesses, this is something the FBI could have done before the election. This is something the FBI can do during Trump's presidency. Or whatever. This is something Democrats can do. Why is it that Republicans have to have independent probes, whether it's the Platte River CEO not abiding by his subpoena, and the Democrats, the Lamar Smith Republican is lobbying Jeff Sessions for some kind of repercussion against the Platte River CEO. He's not getting, it's not like he needs a special counsel for that. I don't care if the NSA is moderately confident. This all is derived, or the basis of this is, oh, well, the intelligence community believes. Who gives a crap? They can believe what they want to believe. If they don't provide evidence, they can go, you know what, themselves. You can believe anything in life. Whether what you believe is backed up by evidence is another story. And I don't care, intelligence professionals, oh, wow, they're so great. They predict nothing, and everything they say from WMD to this is nonsense. So tell me how they're protecting this country. I'm sure they are. A lot of them are, but their track record is horrible. Selling drugs inside the United States of America? Are you kidding? Creating an epidemic for communities to suffer from? I mean, this is public record. We don't even have to go into that. That's like 10 segments right there. That's public record. That's not conspiracy theory. Anyway, the point is this. Once they start going after Trump's businesses, Trump has to pull the plug on this crap. And if they want to go after his businesses after all of this, then fine. The limit, the scope, this has, first of all, if you want to say, well, the businesses have to ties with Russia, great. If there's a business deal tied in Russia that he worked on that's tied with Russian hackers, okay. If it's not, and it's just, business, they just want to get him for anything, then this is opposition research, which is perhaps one or several of my amazing subscribers have stated in the comments section. This is opposition research through taxpayer money. And Michael Cohen BuzzFeed accused him when they published, Steele Dossier accuses him, and when BuzzFeed published that unverified, ridiculous, salacious, gossip-filled documents, they made a huge mistake. But I'll continue reading. Special counsel. Okay, so there is no indication that Cohen is a subject or target of the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Then why is he being targeted? But the scrutiny of his interactions is another sign of the far-reaching nature of the special counsel probe, which is examining members of President's inner circle and aspects of Trump's past business outreach to Russia. This is insane. This is insane. They did not do this with Clinton. This is absolutely insane. And the longer he waits, the longer Trump waits for this, the worse it is for everybody. I think he's making a strategic mistake here. I know that people think I'm crazy, but what good does it do for the country for this Mueller probe to continue without any evidence of Trump committing any crimes? What good does it do? You're not stopping Russia from from making Democrats lose in 2018. Because they're going to blame Russia again. They're going to blame one or two Facebook ads or a Russia post or whatever, or Russia Twitter bots on Russia. They're going to blame. They'll never look in the mirror. They're not going to win the House or the Senate, and if they win the House but not the Senate, they'll still buck history, and that'll be a loss. Anyway, any way you look at it, they have to control both houses. That's an historical trend that they would be circumventing because they suck so bad. So, I mean, there's no indication that Cohen is a subject or target of the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. This is where journalism has gone. But the scrutiny of his interactions is another sign of the far-reaching nature of the special counsel probe. What? This is a profanity alert. What the fuck does that even mean? One sentence, he has nothing to do with the nature of the probe at all. He's not the subject, he's not the target, and he has nothing to do with Russian hacking or alleged Trump-Russia collusion. But the fact that they're bringing, the next sentence after that is the fact that they're bringing this up is a sign of how wonderful the probe is. Why don't you ask Preet Bharara, the former U.S. attorney in New York, why he did nothing about the Clinton Foundation? But the Clinton Foundation, $10 billion stolen from Haiti, hundreds of millions flowing to the Clinton Foundation and then weapons deals, UBS in trouble with the IRS, but not when Clinton helped them out, and then money to Bill and Hillary through the foundation and speaking fees. Then you have Uranium 1 with an informant the other day, an FBI informant. An FBI informant. Let's go ahead and just FBI informant, Uranium 1. Uranium 1 informant makes allegations to Congress. Uranium 1 informant says Moscow paid millions to bid influence. House GOP confidential informant over Uranium 1. Let's look at that. An FBI informant connected to the Uranium 1 controversy told 3 congressional committees in a written statement that Moscow routed millions of dollars to America. Routed millions of dollars into America with the expectation it would be used to benefit Bill Clinton's charitable efforts while Secretary of State Hillary Clinton quarterbacked a reset in U.S.-Russia relations. The informant, Douglas Campbell, said in a statement obtained by The Hill that he was told by Russian nuclear executives that Moscow had hired the American lobbying firm APCO worldwide specifically because it was in a position to influence the Obama administration, and more specifically Hillary Clinton. Democrats have cast doubt on Campbell's credibility, setting the stage for a battle of Republicans. He testified in Congress. They doubt his credibility, but a drunken conversation from Alexander Dumbo Downer, the Australian ambassador, is the basis for a FISA warrant? A drunken conversation? Really? And this man Campbell, Douglas Campbell, spoke to 3 committees. Campbell added in the testimony that Russian nuclear officials told me at various times that they expected APCO to apply a portion of the $3 million annual lobbying fee it was receiving from the Russians to provide in-kind support for the Clinton initiative. The contact called for 4 payments of $750,000 over 12 months. APCO was expected to give assistance free of charge to the Clinton Global Initiative as part of their efforts to create a favorable environment to ensure the Obama administration made affirmative decisions on everything from Uranium 1 to U.S.-Russia civilian nuclear cooperation agreement. Nick Merrill, spokesman for Clinton, said Campbell's account is simply being used to distract from the investigation into Trump and Russian election meddling. There is no Russian election meddling. There's nothing. They have Facebook ads. They have Twitter. There was not one vote changed, not one vote altered. In 2015, I wasn't influenced by Russian anything, and I stated in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon she would lose, and on this YouTube channel. How is that possible? You can read my writing. It's on my website. Or you can go back in this channel. Actually, if you go on my Twitter profile, it's one of the YouTube links. in the profile. And then I say, and it's the location, I put Trump, Russia. Uranium 1 informant goes and testifies to 3 congressional committees. Almost certainly he was under oath. And that's not an issue. But the scrutiny of his interactions is another sign of the far-reaching nature of the special counsel probe, which is examining, okay, so business outreach in Russia. What do his business, so you're saying the Clinton Foundation, that's different because it's not a business, although it's an actual money laundering organization, everybody knows it. Rudy Giuliani said just from the public record, there are RICO laws that is broken. The people of Haiti still haven't received, it's $10 billion owed to them, the $10 billion owed to them from charities linked to the Clinton Foundation. Where's that money? There's an ongoing FBI Clinton Foundation probe right now nobody's talking about. There's an ongoing DOJ email probe. They're not going to do anything to Trump. They don't have Congress. They can't impeach him. They don't even have the votes in Congress to impeach him. Even if he did commit something that was, impeachable, which he hasn't. Then there's the issue of what are they going to do if he fires Mueller? What are they going to do? So they're going to be upset and outraged. They're always upset and outraged. They're always upset and outraged. They're never not upset and outraged. The media is in complete and utter collusion with the Democratic Party. They were from day one. As one of Trump's closest advisors, Cohen played a role in at least 2 episodes involving Russian interests that have drawn Mueller's attention. What are these episodes? You mean to tell me that Mueller, FBI Director Mueller, doesn't have the top secret or classified data or whatever classified intelligence from the NSA, the CIA, from GCHQ? He has no access to any of this, so he has to, rehash all of these episodes. They were spying on him since 2015. If there was evidence of treason, they would have informed the freaking public that they don't care about at all. These people, they're not only scoundrels, they suck at being corrupt. And the issue with Trump now, I'm sorry I'm repeating it always, I can't help myself. He needs to go and fire Robert Mueller or fire Rosenstein so then Mueller can get fired. Who cares? They're not owed, the Democratic Party isn't owed a counsel simply to harass a politician they don't like. Beat him in the polls. If you look at me and say, hey, Jay, what's wrong with you? Oh, look back. You changed so much. Just beat him in the election, in the next election. That's it. It's all ridiculous. Now let me go to BuzzFeed. Michael Cohen. Trump's personal lawyer sues BuzzFeed. Trump's lawyer, Cohen, sues Fusion GPS, BuzzFeed, over Steele Dossier. There's about 5 people that I know of, or that public record, I don't know them, but in the public record, I always talk about 3 Russian bankers, a Russian entrepreneur, and Michael Cohen, suing both BuzzFeed and Fusion GPS. Michael Cohen, longtime attorney for President Donald Trump, filed defamation lawsuits Tuesday evening against research firm Fusion GPS and BuzzFeed. Well, I haven't read this one yet. The Fusion GPS lawsuit, which was filed at federal court level, seeks $100 million in damages. You can imagine the tens of millions of dollars, or the over $100 million in damages, and for the other ones, combined or individually, for the Russian executives suing as well. A separate amount in damages for the BuzzFeed lawsuit, which was filed at the state court level, will be determined at trial, according to court documents obtained by Politico. Now the DNC is suing BuzzFeed, BuzzFeed is suing the DNC. Trump needs to tweet about that. If he's not breaking any laws, he needs to tweet about that. Because BuzzFeed published the dossier And they were so proud of themselves. Look what we published. Let the public decide. Yeah, let the public decide. Well, the public ran with it, and now the reputation of certain people named in the dossier has been tarnished because there's zero credibility, there's zero evidence, and they just published something without doing any research. They published hearsay and gossip. BuzzFeed is suing the DNC over issues involving the Russia dossier. So this is the Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair is going to spin everything. But even they can't really spin this too much. Well, let's see. BuzzFeed believes that evidence of the alleged DNC break-in, even in February of 2018, February 13th, 2018, this article is written, the alleged DNC break-in, which is correct. Not everyone is a good enough journalist to actually use the word alleged. So I commend this journalist. BuzzFeed believes that evidence of the alleged DNC break-in by Russian hackers might help the online publisher in a libel suit. But the DNC says releasing information might make it vulnerable to more hacking. How would releasing information make it vulnerable to more hacking? It's ridiculous. They wouldn't even let the U.S. government look at their computer servers. All of this is a big joke. All of this is a big joke. If Trump fires Mueller tomorrow and the Democrats say obstruction, say it's only in your mind. The Democratic Party has convinced themselves to the point where other people who look at them like they're crazy are afraid of what their reaction would be if Mueller was fired. Have you ever had a girlfriend or boyfriend that you were just afraid to break up with them because you knew that they're just going to it's just going to be really, really tough and they're going to go crazy. So you actually stay with them because you fear the breakup. That could happen to husband and wife also. I'm sure there's people who have been like, you know what, I'm just going to stick this through because the aftermath of breaking up, but ultimately, you always have to break up with the person because you just can't live life that way. And you have to deal with it. And whatever temper tantrum or whatever, that's what it's like with the Democratic Party now. They're so convinced that Russia interfered in the election that they don't, and nobody really knows what the interfering means. Did it change a vote? No. Did it change the outcome of the election? No. Would Trump still have won with or without Russian hacking? Of course. Clinton was hated by the majority of the country. Even liberal voters didn't like her. Which is, you can't go ahead and market something that is just not able to be marketed. Clinton was just not ever going to become president, and I knew that. Robert Mueller's investigation into ties between Russia and the Donald Trump campaign maneuvers mostly in secret. But the infamous dossier at the heart of the scandal, which is all hearsay and gossip. Isn't it nice that Hillary Clinton gets to delete 30,000 emails, many of which were classified? Because we know. How do we know? Because they were deleted before the retroactive classification process. I explained that in both books, about her top secret emails and about her deleted emails. But the infamous dossier at the heart of the scandal, which was compiled by ex-British spook Christopher Steele on behalf of an intelligence firm alternately retained by the conservative website Washington Free Beacon. No, Washington Free Beacon, and that's another thing. The Washington Free Beacon had nothing to do with Russian. When the Russians were involved, that was Clinton, Perkins Coie, the DNC. That's when the Russians were involved, not when the Washington Free Beacon utilized its services. First, there was Monday's juicy foreign policy story revealing that BuzzFeed, which published the dossier in early 2007 and was subsequently sued over it, recently commissioned a team led by a former top FBI and White House cybersecurity official to trek all over the world on a secret mission to verify parts of the explosive document. No offense to the team jet-setting around the world, they're not going to find anything. I can actually help the team and BuzzFeed. It was a leak, not a hack. That's why the DNC never gave its servers to the FBI or anyone in the U.S. government. Yeah. That's why they just found CrowdStrike. Why don't you go ahead and interview CrowdStrike instead of paying this team of former FBI agents to travel around the world? Just go ahead and talk to CrowdStrike. And if CrowdStrike tells you to F yourself, BuzzFeed, we're not talking to you, then you know your answer. It was a leak, not a hack. Why don't you interview Kim.com? Why doesn't BuzzFeed try to interview Kim.com? He's literally stating he knows the identity of the leaker, the DNC leaker that said Seth Rich. So interview Kim.com. BuzzFeed. Maybe that might help you. But you don't want to be helped. You want to fall on the sword, whatever. And this guy, Michael Cohen, just one of many suing BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is taking the Democratic National Committee to court in an attempt to compel it to turn over information it believes will bolster its defense against Alexei Gubarev, a Russian business magnate who says he was libeled in the dossier when it tied him to the Russians' alleged hacking of the DNC email servers. Well, there you go, BuzzFeed. In a nutshell, BuzzFeed believes the DNC has information that could show a link between Gubarev and the email hacking. That's interesting how the BuzzFeed's like, hey, where's that link? Where's the evidence? Because we're getting sued now. BuzzFeed never said, oh, by the way, where's the evidence? Maybe we shouldn't perpetuate this insane myth. Only when they were sued did they say, you know what, DNC? Let's go ahead and find out if there's some evidence behind these insane claims. Can you help us? DNC says it's a profanity alert. DNC, profanity alert. This is a, if you don't want to hear profanity, don't watch anymore. This is what the DNC said to BuzzFeed. This is how the conversation went. BuzzFeed said, you know, we went to bat for you, and we went ahead and we published the Steele dossier, which corroborated your insane allegation or your allegations, and we helped perpetuate this myth that Russia hacked the DNC to inform the American public of how corrupt Hillary Clinton was in an effort to swing votes towards Trump, in which they have a PP dossier and all of these things, a PP tape or whatever. So do you think, DNC, do you think you can just go ahead and help us out since we did so much for you? And, you know, our publication is really a liberal version, a liberal outreach program for the DNC. And the DNC says to BuzzFeed, go fuck yourself. And we don't care if you're fucking bankrupt. We don't care about you at all. You're just a pawn. That's what the DNC said. The DNC essentially stated, you're just a pawn, BuzzFeed. You think we give a crap about you? That's how Clinton deals with people. That's how they say Trump is this, oh my God, and poor Sam, what's his name, the guy, you know, the Trump advisor. Okay, all these people are little pawns or little cogs. They don't, BuzzFeed, just another cog in the machine. It goes bankrupt, so what? DNC can save it, can save jobs. There are journalists there who are really good journalists, actually. It's not just, they're not just all like propaganda. There's some really good journalists there, great journalists at BuzzFeed, really. There are. You think the DNC cares about them or their livelihood? Do you think the DNC cares about all the people who work there, their families? No. DNC says, go after yourself. Go collect unemployment or, you know, get a job at the Daily Beast. What do we care? What do we care? And also, the DNC has no evidence. Minor detail, which gets us back to Michael Cohen being the subject of a segment. Oh my God. Special counsel has examined episodes. Sorry, episodes. Don't you know he was part of an episode? It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Michael Cohen is suing BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is suing the DNC. Mueller is investigating Michael Cohen, when he should be investigating why the DNC isn't giving information to BuzzFeed. So, close almost at my 30-minute mark, I finally get to the real nitty-gritty. Or as if you watch the movie Nacho Libre, the nitty-gritty. Finally, I'm getting to the nitty-gritty. And it is, if Mueller wants to find information about Russia, he should go ahead and follow the BuzzFeed lawsuit against the DNC pretty closely. There's never been evidence given to the American people. Which is why if I was Sam Nunberg, I'd be like, why don't you F yourselves? You give me evidence right now of Russian hacking. And if you say that the ODNI or DHS reports are evidence, I will show you the warranty disclaimers. because there's warranty disclaimers in these reports. There are warranty disclaimers on the reports that are the basis for all of this. And they say their judgments should not be confused with fact. Give me your thoughts. Share this segment everywhere. It's really, really important to kind of... all the propaganda, all the marketing, all the hysteria, the 24-hour news cycle on CNN, all the talk with Russia didn't stop BuzzFeed from suing the DNC. It's the equivalent of Fox suing Trump. Or Fox suing Bush because Bush misled them about the Iraq War and WMD. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. Share this segment everywhere. Hit subscribe. And make sure you click all the notifications for this channel and the notifications bell. Thank you so much for listening.